Dude, I got a lot of sleep last night. I feel like at least 7 hours.
I've exercised twice in the last 3 days.
Yeah?
Maybe that's what I need to do.
Coming out of this
I
quarantine like gangbusters, man.
need to know, by exercise, what do you mean?
I went for a run.
You went for a run
Yes.
That counts for sure.
6:45 this morning.
That's some Rocky stuff.
with the wifey,
No.
Katie?
No.
No?
She did a kettlebell workout at the house though.
How long did you? Justine's been doing she's been doing 2 a days, right? With her neighbor, which
Training camp coming up.
It's crazy, dude. 5:30 a.m.
What?
and then 5 p.m. 5 days a week.
Yeah, no.
Nuts, right?
I'm just slowly getting back into it.
It's absurd.
I feel
But
fantastic.
Props to you, Josh. That's tough to do. What'd you do? A half a mile?
No, it's like just north of 2.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Best
All
I
right.
could do. Best I could do right now. I'm doing the.
Did you run the whole thing?
No, so I'm doing the Couch to 5K program. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
I know couch.
Yeah, me
exactly.
too.
So over the course of 8 weeks, you do 3 runs a week. They get like basically it's like an interval. So a lot of it right now is just like walk for a minute, run for a minute type stuff. But it slowly gets progressively harder. You do slowly more running to less walking to eventually you're just like running for 30 straight minutes.
Are you just taking it to the streets or what?
Yeah.
So is it like a makeshift high intensity interval training thing where you
No,
go back
like
and
you're not going crazy with your ups. It's not sprint walk. It's whatever your jogging pace is. Well, at least for me, whatever your jogging pace is. If I sprinted 3 of them, I would not finish the other 5 intervals.
I walk the dog a mile a day. I do that. But anyway, what's up, Anthony, Chris? Spencer says Josh does Kegels. Jamal, what's going on, people? Glad to have you with us this morning. It's a lovely morning, as a matter of fact. I slept well. Josh got some exercise. Ben never seems to be refreshed.
Nah, I am a lot, but not right now. I'm in a little rut, but that's not a problem. We're going to power through. The majority, we're a 2 of 3 show, so majority wins. You guys are feeling refreshed, so that's the theme of the show.
Well, here's what's going to get you here's what's going to get you stoked. Okay? Cooler's in the house. Jake Hari in the house. Here's what's going to get you stoked. Welcome to the Awesemo Morning Show, by the way. For those of you that are unaware, I'm Dave Loughran. With me, Sir Joshua Engleman and Benjamin Rasa. You like that?
I got knighted?
You've been knighted. Yeah, those workouts go a long way, fella. And one thing before I get into this. Mickey Tillman with a phenomenal comment here. You guys are literally the reason why I know what's going on around the world. I don't watch the news. I watch you guys. Thank you. That's great. I mean, we should not be your authority on anything news, but if it's working, it's working. And I want you to know we're appreciative. So
yeah, I'm like 50-50 happy about that.
I'm
couldn't be happier that you're tuning in. That's super awesome. I don't know if you want to use us as your only source of information in the world.
We need a Chiron at the bottom of the screen now just to put up like as breaking news comes through, you know, we just need to be a new breaking news source. So Ben, here's what's going to get you stoked. Okay. You ready for this? The PGA Tour will announce this week a plan to return on June 11th for the Charles Schwab Invitational in Fort Worth, Texas. The event would not be played with fans in attendance. I told you we were going to have sports in 2020.
Yeah, I mean, I never doubted that part of it. It's great news. I'm excited to see what happens. Obviously, it's going to look a little different. We're not going to have shot tracker. We're not going to have some things, but we are going to have real PGA Tour golf.
And it will be televised, right? Like we're going to be able to watch it on TV. I can't imagine we wouldn't be able to.
I would hope. Again, I don't know the logistics of getting like, you know, a camera, like cameras and production quality in there, but I think they will find a way. And listen, it's a step up. It's a step in the right direction. What I'm most hopeful for, of course, is that immediately no one comes down with the illness and they have to stop. So this is really exciting. Obviously, it seems like they've mapped it out, and that will give us, you know, just speaking from a strictly DFS golf perspective, I didn't want where it was like, all right, we're going to play 2 events in a major and then another major. Like, this will give us some runway to see some recent form and see where guys are at before the Masters, before the US Open. And that's good news.
Anthony Marcus. Can't wait to see how much smarter Ben is than me today. So wait, how does Shot Tracker? Obviously, I follow along on the app all the time for like PGA DFS, but how does Shot Tracker work that they wouldn't be able to do it?
So Shot Tracker is, I don't know. It's when you click into the leaderboard and whatnot, Shot Tracker shows you where the guys are at.
Right.
That's all volunteer based. Like people actually have lasers and they're recording that stuff. It's not just automated fully. I can't imagine. I'm just thinking about realistically what they're going to deploy. I can't imagine they're going to say, "Hey, we're looking for 50 people to come out on the course and do that." It just seems like an unnecessary risk when you're trying to get the sport back off the ground.
So you need that, like it's a big crew to do Shot Tracker. Okay.
I don't know the exact logistics, but yes, it's more people than I'm sure they want to take on, especially for something that ultimately they don't need to have for the actual golfers. It's more for the fans.
Right. It's exciting though, Josh. We're going to get it back. Even if we don't have Shot Tracker, I'm 100% positive, and I haven't heard this, but I can almost guarantee you it will be televised. They won't do this without televising it.
No, what would be the point?
That's what I mean. Yeah. They're going to televise it.
Yeah. It might not look the same as what we're used to, which I think is fine, but 100% it will be televised. I hope it holds out. I mean, I thought there was going to be a UFC pay-per-view, and that came and went in a week. And now there might be another one in May. We'll see if that happens. Like I'm trying not to get overly excited when these sorts of dates drop, because we gain so much more information every single day.
Mm-hmm.
So I like having a date on the calendar that we can just circle and we have something to look forward to, but I'm treating everything with kid gloves right now, so I don't just immediately get let down again, because I was geared up for Tony Ferguson, Justin Gaethje, or Tony Ferguson, Khabib, and gone. Now maybe it's the first week of May or whatever, second week of May, whatever that would be, with all sorts of new crazy fights on it. I mean, people are taking their shots. I'm just nervous. I just want to see it happen once. And then I can feel a little bit better.
It's still 2 months away, which certainly makes me nervous. But on the other side, there's still up 2 months for us to get in a better situation than we're at. And maybe when we get to June, it's a no-brainer that, of course, golf is back, because we're in a great spot on a macro level. So that's what I'm going to hope for. Like I've said, I know I keep saying this. My only hope is that they have contingency plans in place regardless of what happens. I love the attempt. I think it's smart. Let's see what happens. And then let's react to what happens. That's really the part that I'm most concerned about.
And also I see people on Twitter saying, it's only getting worse. There's more deaths yesterday than there were the day before, or today than there were yesterday. Understand that. And again, I always, throw this disclaimer out there. I'm no expert. I just follow stuff closely. Deaths are a lagging indicator and stuff like this. So if you had a lot of deaths one day, but the amount of new cases are down, it sounds strange, but that's actually a good sign, because you're going to have confirmed cases, people that have been sick for like over a week or more, that end up dying from this that day. So that's not where you're looking to see if things are improving. New cases, flattening of the curve, all of that stuff. And the new cases are not by any means getting exponentially higher, which is very encouraging news. But yeah, Josh, they've laid it all out. Like we'll get the assuming everything goes according to plan, we'll get the PGA Championship in August, the Wyndham Championship in August, the Northern Trust in August, same with the BMW Championship Tour, the Tour Championship, the US Open in September, the Ryder Cup in September, and the Masters in November. So if all of this comes to fruition, here's the one positive aspect of everything. There's a very good possibility that we're going to have a period of our lives for the first time ever where we've got like all of our favorite sports happening at once. It's going to be hard as a content site. I can tell you that much. It's going to be tough, but I don't think we'd have it any other way, assuming we get it back. So this could be like the most it could be the most exciting time in all of sports. The only issue is, not having an audience, but you might be able to just turn the TV on every day and have something you love.
Yeah, it's going to be constant. And we're just going to be like, all right, buckle up. I've got a baseball show at 7 a.m. and a basketball show at 9 a.m. And then Jake's got hockey, Ben's got golf, and we're coming back for live before lock for 6 straight hours or something crazy at night.
And then it's the Kentucky Derby to cap off the day.
Yeah.
Like, it's just ridiculous.
It's going to be great. Keith Gordon says not every state has hit their peak. Yeah.
That's true.
That is true. But I also doubt any of them come close to what we saw in New York.
That's impossible, basically.
No, I mean, it's
unless that state was just like, everybody
YOLO.
group hug.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But, it's kind of interesting. And I don't want to dive too deep into this, but it's funny that, I guess funny would be the wrong word, that like California shut down only 2 days prior to New York, and they didn't see nearly the extreme amount of cases. You could argue population density for sure. Like it definitely possible. What's up?
Yeah, that's what my first thought was, but go ahead.
Yeah. And Washington was seeing the first reported cases, and they found a way to stifle it. So I'm not, again, I've tried to be optimistic about this, not unrealistic, but optimistic. I definitely think there are going to be instances where some states do a pretty good job of containing it. And we're okay. Do I think some states are going to see, like they're saying, I'm in Bucks County. So right outside of Philadelphia, they're saying Philadelphia is the new quote unquote hot spot. So we'll see. Ben, a lot of it just comes down to now at the point we're at right now, are we equipped with PPE, with ventilators, with hospital beds, with makeshift hospitals? And it seems we're far more prepared now than we were when we were expecting a huge wave a couple of weeks ago. Hopefully that puts us in a decent enough position.
Yeah, that's the hope. Obviously, again, not to delve into it, but we just need to give the hospitals time to treat these people when they get overwhelmed. Here in New York, of course, that was the main concern and is the main issue. So we'll see. I mean, it's a fine line. We've made some radical changes, and that's resulted in flattening the curve. If we stop those radical changes, what happens? That's going to be the question we're going to slowly answer.
And you've been talking, this is your concern. That is,
yeah.
If we loosen restrictions too soon, do we see a massive second wave?
Yeah.
And the big thing would be, if we see that second wave, do we have the capacity to treat them? Because if we do, it's going to be bad, but it would still be manageable. I don't know.
Yeah, that's certainly my concern, is just, are we willing to start and stop again? I don't know the answer to that. I'm pretty skeptical that some people are going to want to do that, and at high levels, people are going to want to do that. And that's my concern. But listen, we're going to have to trust the science, and we're going to have to try to slowly reintegrate, especially in places that you said, Luffy, have it under control for the most part. Yep. You can use them as a study. You're not going to open up New York City right now. You're not going to open up where, I'm right above the city. That's not going to happen. But in states that are doing a good job and have maybe a different kind of breakdown of how they're structured, maybe we can and see what happens.
Josh, I wish I lived in Montana.
Why is that?
Wyoming style.
Wyoming's the most scarcely populated state.
Yeah, that helps.
In the US, but I don't know. There's something about Montana. Ever since I watched Yellowstone, I was like, I want to be there.
I knew you were going to say that.
Josh, come on. You have to have, I know that you're not the type of person that would like to live in an area like that. Let me tell you.
Wait, why do you say that?
Because when I said I'd like to go to Montana, you said, why would you want to go to Montana?
Yeah, I mean, like, there are better places that are just as nice.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
Montana's
Take me to Idaho.
Yeah, like
all those states. I'm a big fan of.
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, well,
I want to rent a house there for a long weekend and then get the hell out of there.
That's fair enough. Hell, I don't even know if Yellowstone was filmed in Montana, but I like to believe it was.
Oh, let's find out.
Anyway, big news. PGA Tour, but we've got more. The UFC president Dana White, reading this from Action Network's update page, is deep in the process of building out the organization's pay-per-view return on May 8th. Continue reading here. The fights White and the UFC are targeting per ESPN are as follows. Can't pronounce all of those names. But I'll let Josh.
Are you on ESPN?
No, I'm just reading off the names. I can't. Justin
Gaethje. So it's Tony Ferguson, Justin Gaethje. That was supposed to happen on the most recent pay-per-view card that got scrapped. That's an outstanding fight, pure entertainment. It would barring a foul to end that fight, it is like guaranteed fun. That's kind of Tony Ferguson. He looks like someone, like everybody that stepped in the cage with Tony Ferguson, let's just say the past 5 years, comes out of it looking like someone hit him in the face with a baseball bat. Everybody is disfigured and grotesque.
Oh wow.
Okay, so
it's going to be good.
This is for both of you. Do you remember when Chris in The Wire beats up Michael's dad or whatever? Yeah, that's how everyone looks coming out of it.
Just bloody pulp.
There's a picture out there where there's 9 squares, like Hollywood squares, of the face of all of these guys, and everyone looks like they were just brutally assaulted.
Wow.
And then Justin Gaethje's just like he's got a hammer of a right hand.
And the Cowboys fighting too.
Yeah, so Donald Cerrone, Anthony Pettis, which would be fun. Henry Cejudo, Dominic Cruz is just a bonkers matchup to come out of nowhere. Dominic Cruz, long reigning champ. Lots of problems with his feet, plantar fasciitis. So he's got some Tim Duncan in him. He's a legend. Doesn't fight all that often, mostly a commentator now, but he would be coming back to fight Henry Cejudo, 2-division champ. Amanda Nunes, Felicia Spencer, so that's another title fight. Nunes, the best women's fighter of all time, after fighting Cyborg and knocking her out. Ngannou, Rosenstrike, it's just two men that, like, if you saw them come in your door, you'd be terrified. These are hulking 260-pound behemoths. Rosenstrike, I think, is a little lighter. I mean, every fight on this card is awesome. There's no other way. Alexei Oleinik and Fabricio Verdum could be one of the greatest grappling matches we can see at heavyweight that could ever exist. Oleinik has subbed 2 separate guys with Ezekiel chokes. That's when a guy has you mounted. You are flat on your back, another dude on top of you. He choked those dudes out from the bottom twice. It's never been done in the UFC before. It's just sick. Fabricio Verdum, one of the best MMA grapplers at the heavyweight division ever. That fight would likely be boring to most people, but awesome to me. I want every bit of this card. All I wanted to do is happen. Just have it in Florida. They obviously don't care about anything at this point.
Yeah, where is this supposed to take place?
I don't know, but I trust that he'll figure it out.
Well, I thought I don't, because then why didn't we have the fight 2 weeks ago?
Because he's not going to do it in because he won't do it in California. It was on tribal land, right? And ESPN and Disney basically gave him the stand down order.
I don't think that ESPN and Disney are telling you can't do it on tribal land, but if we have a fake governor in Florida, be like, you can do whatever you want in Florida. I don't see how that's any different.
I don't think they're going to allow him to do it in Florida. I'm not saying that much. Go ahead, Ben.
Sorry, just for someone that doesn't know a ton about it, does it have to be in the US, or can they
No, they just did one in Brazil.
It can be anywhere, but if Disney and ESPN are shutting it down, I don't think location is the reason.
That's interesting. That's a fair point.
I also don't think that this would be happening. I don't know if he would have announced something like this. By the way, we can only speculate on the location. We don't know. It's like we have no idea.
Yeah.
But I also don't think he would set this up and say that it's happening if maybe something wasn't, run through the brass up top.
Yeah, especially coming off the disappointment of last time, like going right back at it and then failing. It would be a weird stance to take to strike out again coming off that. It does feel like maybe he's got, a different avenue this time.
I just don't understand what the messaging could be from the top brass that makes this different in some way.
Mortal Kombat Island.
Yeah, it just doesn't
Fight
make,
Island.
It doesn't make sense to me.
Would this be UFC 250 or is this like a fight night? What would this be?
It would probably be 249.
Okay, because it's saying the UFC on ESPN, the UFC's next pay-per-view event is UFC 50, originally scheduled to take place on May 9th in Rio de Janeiro. Okay, so Rio de Janeiro. It'll no longer happen in Brazil, but White told ESPN that is the date his promotion is targeted for a return, and he has already built the potential card out.
It'll be I would be shocked if it's not a pay-per-view. Whatever
it
is. Whatever they number it, they number it. I mean, there's going to be a lot of fights on ESPN proper. So
right. So I guess, yeah, maybe it was supposed to be 250, but maybe this is just considered 249.
Yeah, this is not the first time that they've had to like do some janky stuff like that. They actually skipped a number once.
How?
They had cards. So they had a bunch of cards already ready to go and being run. And, you have media and graphics and everything already made for all of those events. So you can't just bump everything a number. I can't remember who got hurt. It was a John Jones fight. Someone got hurt. They offered him Chael Sonnen. He turned it down, and they had to cancel the card in its entirety. But they didn't renumber anything. So there's one number that's just in the ether.
Okay. So a couple things here. According to this ESPN article, it says, per sources, several fighters expressed an eagerness to compete, but some are frustrated over the recent cancellations and expressed a hesitancy to fully commit. None of their targeted fights will be 100% official until bout agreements are signed. And then finally, White has declined to comment on a potential location for the event. The UFC president has commented on the possibility of a Fight Island being ready to host an event in a month, but he has not disclosed where it is. So we're close to a month, Ben. Let me just say, if we did have a Fight Island location, this would be one of the coolest things ever.
Yeah, that would be real life Mortal Kombat.
Yes, exactly. And fire pits and spikes beneath the octagon.
Yeah, obviously spikes.
How great would it be if they had like power meters at the top like it was Mortal Kombat, but somebody was just like, oh, he's taking a beating, he's dropping down.
Finish him.
Listen, we're gonna see. Like I said, Dana White, he's certainly working through a lot of logistics, but it does seem that he's not just going away after the setback in California. So if they get this off the ground, the GPP prize pools are going to be, just like golf, are going to be out of this world. Could be a milli plus in terms of, the prize pool. And that's going to be something that's going to bring in a lot of casual money and a really good opportunity for everyone to play.
You see Miller Park's comment?
The baseball stadium?
Where the Brewers play?
No, his Miller Park is his name in YouTube chat.
Oh. All right, so kind of.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I do.
So I'm just thinking about he said Old Epstein Island. Do they have the infrastructure to come in there and just
I don't think they would build it there. No.
I don't think it was built for cage fighting.
Like
cages, but not fighting.
No.
Yeah, I think of all the islands in the world, I don't think that's what the UFC wants in every single article.
You don't think a little rebranding?
No, I'm gonna go with that's a no for me, dog.
Dana Island.
Yeah, that's real good.
It's not yesterday's fish. It's a new thing entirely.
Just Miller Park says you'll get a good deal on it.
Yeah, that part is probably could use the Fire Festival Island.
It's like renting an apartment where someone died before it.
No, but yeah, right. But in all seriousness, like off of this point and on to, if you're going to do a private island, it has to be something where you have some type of infrastructure already in place. Like, you can't go into a place where like the last people to live there were
indigenous to that island. Yeah.
Cave dwellers.
Yeah.
And
so they're not going.
It can't be Fire Festival. You can't build it all for yourself.
Right. Like you're gonna have. Maybe I'm wrong, but wouldn't you think you'd want something that has already a little something in place?
Yeah. Like
because otherwise, how long is it going to take you to set up all of that stuff? You can't send fighters to a place with no water and and no electricity.
Well, that's why I thought the Tai Chi Palace was a great idea. Like that's you're getting everything set up the way that you would want it to, and it's already done.
Where's that?
That's the Indian reservation in California. Like that is set up and perfect. That's why I don't understand what they could be doing other than basically a variation on that theme, which then brings me back to then why did it get canceled in the first place?
Right.
I don't know how they're going to find a better scenario than that.
Yeah.
It's got to be out of the country then.
There's got to be other places there's got to be places internationally that have that set up already that are in a position to host a fight. Gotta be.
It does. You're right though. Like you can't take an island that's, indigenous and not set up. Centelese, like that's not going to work. You got to find something that has some infrastructure and maybe rebrand it slightly. We'll have to wait and see. Obviously, there's a lot of incentive to get this done, and there's a lot of interest if they can.
Yeah. Did you just mention what I thought you did?
Who, me?
Yeah.
What?
I thought you started getting into that tribe.
Oh yeah, I did. The Centelese. Yeah. You can't have it there. I'm gonna rule that out.
That story was wild, by the way, of the guy that was on that island and he just got smoked with a bunch of arrows from the Centelese?
Centelese, I think. Centelese. I mean, the amazing thing about them is they survived the tsunami like no problem.
Yeah.
With nothing.
Sentinelese.
Fantastic read if you don't know about them.
Are they where there were people on the offshore of the island taking pictures and they're all just like...
Yeah. That's them.
Yeah. They tried to bring missionaries in there and
didn't go
they
well.
just lit them up with arrows. I remember they were talking about like a helicopter flying, like hovering close by and just like ping, 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 taking fire.
I'm surprised they're not terrified of helicopters.
I'm sure they are.
I know. It is a crazy thought.
I wouldn't shoot arrows at it.
They said that like when French explorers came to America, the only reason they didn't get killed was because, or the only reason they didn't kill the Indians didn't kill the French explorers was because when they fired off the like matchlock musket, they thought they were conjuring thunder and they all ran away. But they took so long to reload that after the first shot, they could have just come in and wiped out all of the explorers. So yeah, it's pretty crazy stuff. So I think it's probably similar in that case. But yes, Ben, it's probably a good idea to not have any indigenous miscreants.
But we'll keep an eye on it. I mean, that's something before golf to look forward to. We've mentioned a couple times Bundesliga over in Germany is on track, so they say, to maybe pick up in the near future. And it'll be good. I know, Luffy, we've talked about incremental steps on a global scale. Even in sports, I think we're going to need to do that. We're going to see if soccer and maybe MMA and golf can get going and then set the stage maybe for baseball and basketball and football and sports like that.
Yep. Hey, by the way, about yesterday's game.
Oh my God.
Could that have been if you guys didn't watch yesterday's game, I'm not saying you had to go back and watch the whole thing, but watch at least the last 5 minutes of this game.
Yeah.
At least the last 5 minutes of this game. It was spectacular. Final possession. Josh, we couldn't have got any luckier.
No, that was as good as it could possibly be. Magic led for a ton of the game. It was tight the whole way. And we got the ultimate ending. Giannis misses a free throw and the Magic have a look. Like, that's all you could ask for. That's the first time we've had anybody have a look to win a game.
Yeah.
Like, we haven't had that experience yet. That's the closest game we've had.
No, the most exciting we'd been outside of that was the Harry Barnes a 12 straight points where we just went
he became the Barnacle of the Bay, man.
Barnacle of the Bay, baby. Yeah. Chris Pride said, if that heave goes down, I don't know what would have happened with our hosts. Yeah, it's a great question.
I'm gone for minutes. I'm not even in my house if that goes. I'm out the front door. I'm in the front yard. It's going to take me a minute to get back. I'm just letting
Anthony
you know.
Says
that's how I've always reacted to a buzzer beater. Buzzer beater goes in and I'm outside. That's the
just
rules.
Flying around. Yeah. Anthony says if that shot went down, I would have won the daily challenge over Gomo. Yeah, that was like, we talk about how crazy it was, but that had implications too.
Huge.
Gomo, the legend, man.
He really is. True. Yeah.
No Gomo.
He has won 3 now. It's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. But it just proves it can be done. I know it seems like it's pretty random, but obviously there's a skill component, and he does not own the game, which I thought was fascinating. So
there's an edge
there. Doubleheader tonight, I believe, for us.
That's right. Doubleheader.
Gomo's going to win them both. There's only one.
He's gonna win. So the Bucks moved on, but that was way closer than anyone would have anticipated. They were down at one point by 9 or 10.
Yeah.
And came roaring back, a few monster Giannis Antetokounmpo dunks, and here we are. But the Magic made a better game of that than anyone could have imagined. The over-under was 123.5. It finished at 122. The Bucks were 7.5-point favorites. They ended up winning by 2. But just through and through an awesome game. Ben, what have we got on the docket tonight? I can tell you one thing: the Blazers they deserve their place in this tournament after what we saw through their first 2 play-in games.
No doubt about it. They've been sharp and they get their chance tonight. They play the Lakers, and then we jump back to the East with the Raptors against, to me, the most interesting team in the entire tournament in the Nets. This is not the Nets you may think of. They've got Kyrie, they've got KD. So I think it's pretty clear they're wildly underseeded. That's just a product of where we're at. I'm going to have a lot to say about that game. I mean, I think they're as dangerous of team as you can find. We have no idea how they're going to play together, but 2 good matchups tonight. Getting it started 7 o'clock, as you just dropped in chat, Luffy. So we should see everyone there. You get your FanDuel lineups and your daily challenge in, get a chance to win some cash.
That's right. Josh, who do you have in these games?
Do you want the
lines?
No, I've got it here in front of me. I'm nervous about this one because I haven't seen the Blazers, and I don't really know how good they looked and if they're capable of taking out the Lakers. Like, in the grand scheme of things, I think it's obviously the Lakers, but you guys have so much more info than me that I feel like I'm flying blind like everybody was when we first started last week. The Blazers strike me as a team that can beat the Lakers because of the way they're set up in this game. So I'm going to take Blazers and the points for sure. And then Nets Raptors, I mean, are the Nets like the biggest enigma in this tournament?
Yes.
Oh, undoubtedly, yes. Especially because the one game we watched Kevin Durant play 2 games we watched Kevin Durant play was kind of like, he didn't really do much at all. But that doesn't mean that'll be anything close to the case in this one. Yeah. He might just go off.
I like the Raptors in that game. But I think the winner of that game tells a really big story.
Okay. And I like the Lakers here, but it's going to be tough. I laid the points yesterday with Milwaukee and ended up being wrong. I think if you run that back, the Magic gets smoked, but who knows? They didn't. So I got that one wrong. Today, though, LeBron and Anthony Davis, both of them just so forceful, like imposing their will upon the other team. I think that's going to make life really tough unless Lillard goes off and unless Whiteside can block a lot of shots, which he did do in those 2 previous games. So this is a line that I feel pretty uncomfortable with, meaning I don't have a good read on either of them. And with Toronto and Brooklyn, I've got to go with Durant and Kyrie and just assume that they're the better team when healthy.
I'm going to go with the Nets as well. I think that just the firepower that we have, even though we haven't seen it, is going to be too much. I'm going to take the points with the Blazers, though. It's just a team that has a lot. Nurkic, Whiteside, Lillard, McCollum, some timely contributions from the wings. I know the Lakers are the better team. I think they should win the game, but I see no reason why the Blazers can't hang around. And if they get a ceiling game from Lillard, which we really haven't seen, he's been good, but this is like a Devin Booker. We need him to go for 25, 30 points for them to have a chance. He can do that. It's just a matter of if he will. I actually think the Blazers are very live to stay in that game.
Okay. Look, they played well. It would not be shocking to me if they kept this game competitive. It wouldn't. So I'm not opposed to that. Josh, you really like this Raptors team though against Brooklyn.
I do. Let me pull up the ratings just so I can have a reference.
And by the way, while he does that, fill out the daily challenge at Awesemo. We've got awesome cross game bets today as well. So like Kevin Durant versus LeBron, points, rebounds, assists, and good stuff like that. So it's definitely a good day to get in, win that $200 up top, and get your FanDuel lineups in because we got a 2-game slate today. Fellas, go ahead, Josh.
Kyle Lowry being 6 points behind Kyrie Irving is a ridiculous set of ratings right there. I can't get behind that at all.
No,
not in the slightest. That gap is preposterous.
Well, then how about this? I have Lillard minus 6.5 versus Lowry points today.
That's not shocking to me.
Okay.
I like Lillard to score a lot more than Kyle Lowry, but like,
all right, because that is the actual question in the daily challenge.
Gotcha. Yeah, I like Lillard in that spot. Raptors are deep, man, and we saw yesterday with the Bucks, like they played everybody a lot. Now I don't know if that's just a Bucks thing because we know that they kind of do that, but whereas Joe Harris is a 76, he's the 7th highest rated guy on Brooklyn. Marc Gasol is a 77 and he's 10th. So they're running out 10 dudes that are 77 or better. I don't think that they totally die as they make subs. I wish they would make like smarter subs, but that's not going to happen. I'm really curious to see how the bench minutes go for Toronto and if Brooklyn can take a big enough lead when the starters are on the floor.
All right. Yeah. There's a ton of depth in Toronto, Ben. And like, you can't deny how deep that team goes in terms of having quality players. But then with the Brooklyn Nets, Kevin Durant's a 96, Irving's a 91. They've got double 90-plus players. Dinwiddie, DeAndre Jordan, and Allen, and Karis LeVert are all over 80. So they don't have quite as much depth. But in NBA 2K, I don't suppose you need that much depth if you've got 6 or 7 guys that can play quality minutes. I think that's what it comes down to for me. How many minutes do Durant and Irving and Dinwiddie play? How many minutes are these guys on the floor? Because if it's a lot, if it's 20 or 19 or 24, then I give the edge to Brooklyn for sure.
I think it's just both ways can be effective. I don't think it's necessarily a detriment to have a deep rotation like Toronto's going to run. But at the same time, we've seen teams, and the Nets can fall into this category where if you lean on a couple of guys, you can not get a ton of contributions from those last guys. I would assume the Raptors will kill them in bench points tonight. We'll have to see that in between quarters. But I don't think that necessarily means that the Raptors win the game, even if they do have a big advantage when the second units come in.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm looking at some of these prop bets that we got set up here at Awesemo, player versus player, Josh. And we got some mighty interesting ones here. Specifically, here we go. So Lillard laying 6.5 against Lowry. Who do you like here? And by the way, cross game. We did this intentionally since there's 2 games. We're switching up some of the games, so you're sweating from start to finish. Lillard minus 6.5.
It's hard not to like Lillard. Just such a scorer, and in this particular game, in the way that it's played, He fits 2K to a T. So I definitely want to go Lillard there. Can we talk about DeAndre Jordan being 4 points better than Marc Gasol in this game? Come on now.
That is strange. Usually I disagree with you on these. That is strange. There's no question that is odd.
No, that they should be reversed, if anything.
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense. I'd put him equal. DeAndre Jordan doesn't get the minutes, but I feel like he's still pretty good.
Yeah, I think 30 out of 30 teams, unless they're trying to sign Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, would take Marc Gasol before they took DeAndre Jordan.
I'd love to know what Marc Gasol was last NBA 2K19. Probably like an 84 or something.
I assume it's on this site. No, guess not.
I don't believe so. No,
I don't know. It'll be. These games tonight will tell a lot. Obviously, it was just one game, but the Magic hung in. It's not going to be just a demolition for the Bucks, clearly, and we'll see on the West what happens with the Lakers.
He was an 83 last year.
Oh, I said 84. Okay, yeah. I mean, I knew he'd be way higher. Way higher.
It's a 93 on the all-time Grizzlies team.
Yeah, it makes sense. He was a really good player.
Yeah.
Ben, you taking Dame? Are you laying the points with Dame over Lowry?
Probably. It just seems that even if the Blazers lose, Dame's going to have a ton of shots, and if they win, he's going to have a ton of points. So with that type of volume, it's hard for me to pass up on that.
And what about LeBron plus a half a point against Durant?
That's tough. I'm going to have to look into that a little more. It's, LeBron can contribute if he gets in transition. Obviously, he can just rack up the dunks. I like him, of course, in rebounds and assists over Durant, but points in particular is the toughest one for me to gauge.
Josh, what about you?
I prefer LeBron there just because I think he's got an easier defensive matchup against him than Durant is going to see, some sort of combination of Siakam, Ibaka, Anunoby. That's not really happening against the Blazers. But I did have a question for you guys. Again, going back to me not seeing the Blazers. What did their big man rotation look like? Whiteside, Collins, Nurkic. What's going on with the Blazers there?
Whiteside and Nurkic both played a lot of minutes.
Okay. Together?
They're both really effective.
Did they play together at all?
I don't think so.
Okay. So they're
they're
probably playing all of the minutes at center is just Whiteside and Nurkic?
Yeah, Collins got a lot of the 4.
Okay. Good to know.
They were good though. Like their bigs, Whiteside in particular, dominated the glass.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they've got 2 better versions of the bigs from the Lakers. And if they're running any like AD at the 5 in a video game, I think that Nurkic and Whiteside can like hang, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think they're uniquely set up to beat them.
They could be. They definitely could be.
Oh my God. Hassan Whiteside has a higher rating than CJ McCollum?
He played like it, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, McCollum did not play well at all. McCollum had some. I guess he actually his second game he was okay, but Whiteside was pretty dominant. Like Whiteside was good. He had 13 rebounds in the first game, Josh, and 4 blocks.
I mean, this is the perfect game for him.
Wow, he's an 87. That's actually really high.
That's ludicrous. It's like he's getting graded on his fantasy sports scoring and not his like actual talent.
Pretty much. And Nurkic is an 83. That's another interesting point. Nurkic had played really well off the bench.
I mean, if he's healthy, he's not an 83 in Whiteside. Like if Yusuf Nurkic didn't break his leg, he's rated higher than Hassan Whiteside. But what do you give a guy that broke his leg brutally?
Yeah, it definitely doesn't help. You can't give him a 90.
No.
But with the Lakers, you have 97 and 96 with LeBron and Davis. The big question is, can they do all of the damage? Because by the way, Dwight Howard is an 81 is even more insane than Marc Gasol is a 77.
What do you think I don't know which direction you're going for this.
Dwight Howard should not. That's too high for Dwight Howard. He should not be an 81 in 2020.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, if you're arguing that Gasol should be higher, but Dwight Howard belongs at 81, 4 points higher than Gasol, that's absurd.
I'm just trying to find, like, I don't have anybody. Those comps came because, like, I had direct line comparisons. I'm trying to find other people that are around an 80 to like get the feel for it.
Jared Allen at this stage of his career is definitely a better player than Dwight Howard.
Ooh, I don't know. I think that's pretty tight. I think that's pretty tight.
Not a layup, but I don't. Dwight Howard not.
He had a really good year.
Yeah. Playing 15 minutes a game. Can't give him that. But like, again, going back to Marc Gasol, are you really giving Marc Gasol a 77 and Dwight Howard an 81? That does not make sense.
No.
That's the most egregious thing in the world.
That I agree with. Like, this makes me feel even more ridiculous. Dwight Howard, 81. JaVale McGee, 80. Miles Turner, 79.
Yeah, insane. Willie Cauley-Stein has a higher rating than Marc Gasol at 79.
Willie Cauley-Stein has the same rating as Miles Turner?
Yeah. Nuts.
Yeah, 2K. You might want to hire me. This is nonsense.
Montrezl Harrell's a 71.
That can't be right.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, I was gonna say
that would be out of control. No, but I don't know. I just don't think that makes a whole lot of sense at all.
No. You should
Mitchell Robinson, by the way, let me tell you something insane. I don't know. Maybe Josh will agree with this. He shouldn't, but Mitchell Robinson is rated higher than Julius Randle, and he's the highest rated player on his team.
So are we just learning that, like, the weighting of calculating an overall rating for big men is different?
I'm assuming there's got to be like blocks weighted in heavily and just kind of the stat stuffing ability, because Mitchell Robinson, I'm not saying Julius Randle's a stellar player, but he's a good enough player that he shouldn't be higher than a guy in Mitchell Robinson who, when he's on the floor and not in foul trouble, is good, but no.
Well, that's the question. I think Mitchell Robinson is really good. Do we penalize him for not being able to be on the floor because he draws too many fouls?
Yeah.
Or should he be rated really highly with a horrible foul rate?
What I think your inability to not foul should take away from your rating, because I mean, imagine
we can't look at overall ratings anymore. Mitchell Robinson is 3 points ahead of Marcus Smart.
Yes, it doesn't make sense. It does not make sense.
He's ahead of Gordon Hayward.
Doesn't make sense. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't think that the overall rating is all that interesting any longer.
Yeah, I guess not, but I actually enjoy looking at some of the most egregious ones.
Well, I just want them to be calibrated better, more or less. Like, I'm trying to find just like the most preposterous thing in the world. Like, Mitchell Robinson is not better than.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
I'm just clicking on every team.
Me too. I'm trying to find one that I just.
Oh my God, the Hornets' only guy north of 79 is Devontae Graham at 80. They are so bad. They're so bad.
Okay, I got one for you. Here it is. This is the most preposterous one you'll find. Mitchell Robinson has the same rating as Drew Holiday.
That's not good.
He's 2 points ahead of Bojan Bogdanovic.
I know. Drew Holiday is the same as Mitchell Robinson.
That one's tough.
Drew Holiday's a really good player.
Yeah, that one's tough to swallow. Oh, wow. Man, that is. He's only 3 points. Mitchell Robinson is only 3 points behind Porzingis.
Yeah, it's just. Nicholas Lynn says Hornets versus 95 Knicks. Yeah, I think Hornets can take him.
Who's better, Mitchell Robinson or Al Horford? There's a question for you.
Still Big Al.
Yeah, he's a point behind Mitchell Robinson.
It's still Al Horford. I don't know.
Mitchell Robinson is not better than Kelly Oubre. But 2 points ahead of him.
How does he have such a good rating?
It's the way, like, the weight of blocks and interior defense and stuff have to be higher to calculate that for a center, you know?
There's no other explanation.
I don't like the calibration. You know what we should do? I should try to download all of the stats and calculate my own overall ratings. But, that seems like a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yes, but if you did it, it'd be pretty cool.
It would be pretty cool.
It'd be pretty cool. There's a topic trending on Twitter, bench Beal. And there's one on Twitter that is start Beal. So it's Hoop Central put out a tweet that said, start one, bench one, cut one. Okay. And it's from yesterday. It's Bradley Beal, Paul George, Jimmy Butler. Start one, bench one, cut one.
Okay. Start one, bench one, cut one. Butler, Beal, George.
And Paul George. Mm-hmm.
I mean, this one's not even difficult for me. I have mine ready. If you guys want to go.
Give us your answers as well, chat. I'm sure everyone's got opinions here. Josh, all right, who do you have? Start one, bench one, cut one.
I can't imagine anyone not starting Paul George.
Correct.
Okay.
I would cut Jimmy Butler and bench Bradley Beal, but I can go either way on that one. But I think
that
Beal works better on a good team than Jimmy Butler works better on a good team.
Okay. I'm cutting Bradley Beal. I'm starting Paul George.
Yeah.
I'm benching Jimmy Butler.
I don't have much problem with those other two. Ben, where are you at?
Ben, yeah.
No, I would start Paul George, bench Bradley Beal, and cut Jimmy Butler.
Okay.
But again, I'm pretty much in line with Josh. I think the obvious choice of any choice is to start Paul George.
Yeah.
So
according to NBA 2K, it's start Paul George, bench Bradley Beal, and cut Jimmy Butler. Now, I will say, Paul George is a 90, Bradley Beal is an 89, and Jimmy Butler is an 88. So they're all one down from each other. Makes sense. I mentioned that because, and by the way, tomorrow we've got some really fun poker discussion. Ben and I got some games in yesterday, and so did Josh and Ben, I believe. Ben had, at least when I was with him, was running the table. It was a sight to behold, let me tell you. Very fun. And I learned a lot just watching it and understanding his process. So we'll get into that tomorrow. But last night, the three of us, I think was it after or before our show? I'm not sure, but we don't have the all NBA teams out yet. But Josh had mentioned that I wasn't forgetting about this at all. You'll want to stick around for this for sure, because this is one where there's no doubt chat picks a side and runs with it, like 100%. So Josh came to the conclusion that Brook Lopez is a first-team All-NBA player. And
why are you going to start off by saying it incorrectly out of the gate and get chat all riled up?
Because it's great.
Not at all what was said.
He thinks that he'd be a third-team All-NBAer. And we were looking at an article on CBS yesterday, right? And this was just Josh. I believe it was just the CBS sports staff, their votes, right?
It was
theirs. Okay. For 3 All-NBA teams, as well as 2 all-defense and an all-rookie team based on what we've seen or what they've seen at this point in the season. Here's what they have. So I want to read these off quickly. First team, Luka, Harden, LeBron, Giannis, Jokic. Second team, Lillard, Westbrook, Leonard, Anthony Davis, Joel Embiid.
That's
Third
ridiculous, by the way. Ridiculous.
What?
Joel Embiid. This particular season. That's ridiculous. Keep going.
Chris Paul, Trey, but Brooke Lopez should be on there. Chris Paul, Trae Young, Jimmy Butler, Jason Tatum, and Rudy Gobert is the third team. The all-defensive team, Ben Simmons, Marcus Smart, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Anthony Davis, Rudy Gobert. I personally love that team. Smart is ferocious. Giannis is a bit amazing. Simmons had his best defensive season we've seen in, ever from him. And then second team, Patrick Beverley, Eric Bledsoe, Kawhi Leonard, Bam Adebayo, and Brooke Lopez on the second all-defense team. And then we'll get to the rookie team in a minute. But go ahead, make your argument, Josh, for Brooke Lopez being on the all-NBA team. And if that means you make him number 3, that means you'd be putting probably Rudy Gobert on the second team and taking Joel Embiid out. I don't know if I want Rudy Gobert on the second all-NBA team.
I don't see Joel Embiid as an all-NBA player for this 2019-20 season. I don't think it's
I'm shocked.
Do I think that he is better than Brooke Lopez? Yeah, of course. But he just didn't have that kind of season this year. That's not an indictment. That doesn't mean that I wouldn't expect him to be better than him next year. If all we're doing is grading 2019-20, it's not Joel Embiid. He played 300 less minutes than Brooke Lopez. He played 1,300 minutes. That's like Jakob Poeltl played 966. We're talking about a guy that just wasn't on the floor a ton this season. Rudy Gobert played 2,100 minutes. That's like 750 more minutes than Joel Embiid. He just wasn't playing enough. So for me, Embiid is just a non-starter as far as I'm concerned for all NBA for this particular year. He's probably my first pick for centers if I had to pick somebody and win a game.
All right.
I can't count Anthony Davis as a center. He played center 20% of the time this year. So it's some combination of Rudy Gobert and Jokic are basically locks for 2 of those 3 spots. I can't imagine anybody coming up with an argument in a different direction. Would you agree?
No.
You would not agree.
Who did you say would be your guy to win a game if you're talking? Who did you say it would be?
Probably Embiid.
Okay, but look, I don't have a problem with what you're saying. It was a tough year. Ben, what's this conversation you're having in chat right now? Looks interesting.
So no, it was just an interesting comment about Mark Koval said that in terms of Bradley Beal, do we really know how good he is just because of what his situation is on the Wizards, Eric Pascal corollary? And I took that to mean not that he's correlated to Eric Pascal, just the concept of, if you're the only guy, you're going to have some big numbers when you're taking 30 shots a game. And that's just a little different. I think that's a reasonable take with Beal. Still would bench him and cut Jimmy Butler, but I get that narrative.
Okay.
Let's not forget, Bradley Beal was good when the Wizards were good. It's not like he just only put up stats when these past 2 years when they went in the can.
Sure.
He was part of a legitimately good Wizards team for a couple years.
With Wall, but I still think that guys always get a boost when their team is awful and they have free reign to just go nuts.
Bradley Beal's good, but he's not great by any stretch. He's a good player.
I like Bradley Beal in life.
He's a borderline third-team All-NBA type guy.
Yeah. Let me see here.
So I want to know who is the third All-NBA center?
Well, okay, just quickly, 2 things. One, speaking of good things, the Awesemo esports package is as good as you're going to find it for League of Legends. Huge monster prize pools every single day, during the day and at night. $50,000 at some spots on DraftKings paid out the first place for a video game. And we're doing it every single day, from the projections for all of the 4 leagues to the top stacks tool, which was so valuable for baseball, and similarly for League of Legends. The ownership projections, ownership rankings, everything you need to be successful at esports, at League of Legends, we have at awesemo.com. Go to awesemo.com/join if you want to just check it out. We will be doing flash sales as well, so keep your eye out for that. But it's right now, it's the only game in town, and fortunately, it's a profitable game in town with a lot of money to be made, and the projections, ownership, top stacks, all of that at awesemo.com, AWESEMO.com. Check that out. And while you're at it, hit that thumbs up button. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do us that service, but also do yourself that service so you always know when new content is going to come out next. The YouTube algorithm, likes to rail against the little guy. That's one way you guys can help us, is by taking a second to hit those buttons, because it does a lot for us in terms of the rankings and getting us up there in front of a bigger audience. Okay, Josh, we'll get to the center.
Can we get to this? Jokic is trash. I'd rather have Andre Drummond, was a quote in chat. That might be the worst take I've ever read.
Yeah, not great.
Andre Drummond got traded for John Henson, Brandon Knight, and a second-round pick that is essentially the worst pick you could trade.
I love Drummond from a fantasy standpoint. He's a good player, but Drummond doesn't sniff an all-NBA team.
No, he doesn't. He is unwanted. They traded garbage bags for him to go to Cleveland. John Henson and Brandon Knight are salary filler, and they got the 2023 second-round pick, the worst of the Cleveland Golden State 2023 second-round pick. Whichever one of those picks is worse, that's the pick that goes to Detroit.
Yep.
Which could very well be the last pick in the draft.
Maybe a controversial move here. I don't think it should be. If I could take Jimmy Butler and make him shooting guard, I would definitely put him over Russell Westbrook on the second team. Somebody said in chat, I think it was Mark Koval, that Butler was a disappointment in Philly. The thing is, he really wasn't. They came a buzzer beater shy in Game 7 of beating the eventual NBA champs, and Butler took over in these games. Butler was awesome, and look what happened to the Sixers this year without him. I would put Butler and the second team. I think he's to the casual fan, one of the more underappreciated players in the league based on what he's capable of doing on all parts of the floor.
I really don't like his offensive game.
All right.
I don't disagree with what you're saying.
Fair enough.
But he's not going to age well.
No, but that's tough. I have a hard time really grappling between a guy like Westbrook and Butler are just so polarizing in different ways. Exactly. I would take Beal over him. So
over who? Over Butler?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I could never do that. I feel like Jimmy Butler contributes far more to a winning environment than Beal does. I don't know.
He's played a lot more. Bradley Beal has played a lot more winning basketball than Jimmy Butler has.
What?
I don't agree with that.
I mean, the Wizards were good for a couple years. What was Jimmy Butler doing during those times?
He had
Chicago, Sixers. Am I missing? Didn't Jimmy Butler have some pretty solid teams in there?
Yeah, he's been to the playoffs, I'm pretty sure, in most of his seasons.
Jimmy Butler. As Jimmy Butler.
Well, not as Johnny Butler.
Yeah, what, as his alias?
Being on the 2011-12 Bulls team doesn't mean it's Jimmy Butler.
No, but that's contributor Jimmy Butler. Didn't he have some deep playoff runs?
Well, just last year, that wasn't deep, but it was Game 7 against Toronto.
Yeah.
This year
they've had two mildly deep playoff runs. He's had two mildly deep playoff runs. One came in 2012, 2013, which, get ready for this. He played 40 minutes a game and averaged 13 points. So he's
I remember that.
That's not like Jimmy Butler. He's not a legitimate part of that team in that way.
Yes, he was though. He was a huge defensive presence and made a huge impact that year.
Right, but like he's like the fourth dude for the Bulls at that time. It's not like Jimmy Butler is taking this Bulls team. There are,
I guess, but 40 minutes per game, even under Thibodeau, is a decent amount. My thing is, if you were,
I mean, five guys probably played 40 minutes a game for Thibodeau in that series.
Yeah, if I'm saying if you gave me, if you asked me who do I think contributes more to a team winning just on their overall play, I would take Jimmy Butler over Bradley Beal. I would. I've seen enough out of Jimmy Butler to know that I'd feel pretty confident going with him.
I don't think it's outlandish. I don't agree with you, but I don't think it's crazy. I think it's only going to get worse for Butler now too.
Well, he burns out of everywhere. That's the other thing with him. Like, if you want to bring that into it, he seems to have a short shelf life in every situation.
He'll be 31 next year.
It ends horribly everywhere he goes.
Yeah, it hasn't been great. I wouldn't be surprised if things end up being okay though in Miami. It seems like a decent spot. Spoelstra's a good coach, but yeah, he's definitely getting up there in age. I just think Jimmy Butler is one of the more underappreciated players out there to the casual, and apparently to you guys. Chris Paul shouldn't be on there.
He had an incredible year this year.
And
Oklahoma City was good.
His first month of the season wipes him off for me.
Why?
Because he was not good his first month.
He had a fantastic season.
You and your advanced analytics.
Yeah, those guys that are like good defensively, that are efficient when they score. Meanwhile,
it's all about the eye test, Josh.
Jimmy Butler out here with a 47.9 effective field goal percentage, 23rd percentile for wings.
That's good.
Yeah, 25% from three. What a lethal offensive contributor. Yeah.
Yo, Kobe White is on the second team all rookie team.
Yeah.
Kendrick Nunn is in the first team. So is Tyler Hero.
Tyler Hero's first team?
There's no way he should be first team ahead of Kobe White. I don't care if Kobe White had a couple of bad periods of play, which is literally why I say Chris Paul shouldn't be on the third team.
Yeah.
Tyler Hero, come on. He was injured for like 2 months or something.
Well, let's check
crazy.
It out. Kobe White played 1,600 minutes. Tyler Hero played 1,280.
Yeah. But he also started a bunch of games when when they were down players. I don't know. That
he only played. Look, he started 6 games. Kobe White started 1. So
okay. John Morant, Kendrick Nunn, Zion Williamson, Brandon Clark, Tyler Hero. Second team, RJ Barrett. They're just giving him.
I mean, they just don't have enough guys.
Exactly. Kobe White, Eric Paschall, Eric Pascal's been pretty solid as a rookie. PJ Washington and Rui Hachimura.
They shouldn't even give 5 spots for first team. That's the problem.
They really shouldn't.
Like, I don't think that Kobe White or Tyler Hero should be on the first team.
That's fine.
You can't compare those two guys to like Zion and John Morant and be like, these guys should be in the same bucket.
Well, if you took,
I understand.
However many. What's up?
I understand that you have to do that. That's not how 5 guys on a team works, but
right. I'm saying, like, if you took Zion, who played 19 games, right. So take those 19 games, and his first game, Josh, was January 22nd. All right.
Yeah.
So take those. I bet if you took Kobe White's numbers from January 22nd and on, they were almost as impressive as Zion's.
I bet you are wildly incorrect.
Statistically?
Yeah.
Like statistically. Like actual counting stats, points.
Of everybody 21 years of age or under, Zion had the best plus minus other than Luka Doncic.
I'm not talking about all right, go ahead.
That's it. Other than Luka. He's 2.
Okay. Let's see. All right. Kobe.
Like, you don't want anybody to keep the audio of you just saying that. I think that's that crazy.
But the thing is, you're missing what I'm saying. Like, in terms of counting stats, like fantasy production, take like Kobe White over that stretch was probably comparable to Zion.
We can, it's 2020. We can look at it.
He averaged 20 points per game.
Zion
he averaged 20 points per game
and a half per 36 minutes.
What?
23.6 for Zion. Let's see.
Yeah. Come again?
I said Zion averaged 23.6.
Huh?
What?
23.6.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Kobe White averaged.
I mean, yeah, we can say that those numbers are close to each other. I don't have Kobe
That's
White's
all
up.
I was saying. That's all I was saying. I'm not saying they're comparable players. I'm saying Zion played 19 games.
Yeah.
And the stretch run, the stretch that Kobe White was on over the last month and a half before the season concluded was a really impressive stretch of games. That's what I'm saying. He played great.
He played great. Or he played. I would say he played.
Okay. I mean, I thought he played pretty well for a rookie that was coming off the bench. And
okay, well, those are now you're giving it like 3 qualifications. He went from he played great to he played great for a rookie coming off the bench. Those are different qualifiers. Okay, if he played great, then what do we talk about how LeBron James and Anthony Davis played?
Oh, well, okay. I mean, if we're gonna do that, then okay.
Kobe White played
That's
like what,
ridiculous.
Slightly below average for an NBA player?
No.
I'll go with yes.
Okay, then we can't say Zion played great either because they didn't go on and start just ripping off wins with Zion in the lineup.
They kind of
so he must have played what?
They kind of did. Zion came in and 538 has him projected to make the playoffs if this season finishes.
That's moving the goalpost. I'm saying what they did, not what they were projected to do.
What Kobe White did was have a -2.5 plus minus.
Okay. Yeah,
Zion
plus minus.
Zion turns that into a plus
team.
That's the point of it all. It has nothing to do with the quality of your opponents.
Oh, okay. So then Bradley Beal then, what was his plus minus?
Not great this year. You had a terrible defensive
then
season.
there you have it.
It was still positive. 0.38. You can't use the best stats that exist for the NBA right now. That's what you're saying.
To say that a guy didn't play well?
Yes.
To be like, oh, he didn't play well because his plus minus was bad on a team that is surrounding him with Denzel Valentine and
that's the whole point of these stats. To fix that.
Okay.
Plenty of guys on bad teams can have good plus minuses. Bradley Beal was still plus 0.38.
So Kobe White didn't play well over the last month of the season.
Depending on what your expectations were. I think he played like a slightly below average NBA player.
Okay.
I don't know how to come to a different take.
Yeah, I'm not asking you to, but as a rookie that plays on the Chicago Bulls over his last month and a half of the season to average 20 points per game is pretty good.
I don't agree.
Okay. Look, all I'm saying, it's not like Pelicans started ripping off wins either. They were 5-5 in their last 10 games. A lot of bad losses. So
I don't know why the win, like why does the Pelicans having to win have anything to do with that?
Because, if you play great.
Wow, you just told me Kobe White played great. That was your quote, not mine.
I'm using your logic.
You told me Kobe White played great. The Bulls were terrible.
Right.
So why didn't they win? That's exactly what you just said.
Did Bradley Beal play great this season?
No.
Oh, so now you're saying Bradley Beal did not play well this season.
Well and great are two different words. One of them means something else.
Did he play well this season?
He had a down year for Bradley Beal.
Okay.
He had a slightly positive plus minus.
When are the better years?
5 wins.
When are the better years for Bradley Beal? When he had John Wall alongside of him and Marcin Gortat in his prime?
The Wizards were terrible last year. He was better the year before than 1920.
When he had players around him.
It's the same team. They're both terrible teams.
Okay, I've had enough.
2 years ago's Wizards team was terrible. So was this year's Wizards team.
Okay.
It was just Beal playing 40 minutes a game, getting run into the ground. But he did it better the first time than the second time.
All right.
You guys just set Stephen A. and Max Kellerman back with us.
It's incredible.
I feel like I'm on First Take. I'm Jalen Rose's wife. That's why I don't watch that show either. But Kobe White hot takes. I didn't see that coming in the outline.
Neither did I.
I don't think it's a hot take to say he played good basketball.
I would say that he improved where he should have been drafted. That's about the best I can do.
All right. Well, no point in going any further with this. Ben, you got anything else?
Fun.
No. I truly don't have a stance in this. I was enjoying seeing you two flesh out your thoughts on that one. So no, I'm not waiting in there. I really don't have a big take on that. So okay. I enjoyed it though.
All right. Josh probably thinks Tyler Hero is a third team All-NBAer.
No.
I think that. I love Tyler Hero in life. Big Tyler Hero fan.
Oh, Josh, what else you got?
I don't know. I can't believe how hard you're riding for Kobe White here.
I'm riding for... Dude, it's not even worth getting back into this.
I'm just like, I don't understand it.
Okay.
I'm at a loss for words. It's not like whether or not this show is live. I think that's what we're having that exact same conversation.
Oh yeah, we've done this a million different times.
Hell yeah,
with
it's
a million
so much
different
fun.
Players. Yeah, this is commonplace.
Yeah.
Well, this has been fun. We're going to talk a lot of poker tomorrow. Hopefully, we get more updates in the sports world. I'm assuming we will. We're starting. Yesterday, we had 3 announcements, 2 of them major announcements. Yeah. So I think we're going to start seeing stuff roll in. We'll see if these governors intend on opening up parts of the economy and getting us back in business. All of this discussed every morning on the Awesemo Morning Show. Tune in. We'll give you your sports updates. We'll give you your arguments. We'll give you your debates. We'll give you your poker. We'll give you your poker discussion and so much more. CLA 935 with a super chat donation. Appreciate you. This is only for Ben.
Yeah, I bring in that money. Much appreciated. We appreciate everyone watching the show. A lot of fun things each and every morning, but hopefully, just to add to that, we do get some more news. It's rapidly developing. I know, we plan our outlines the night before, and a lot of times by the time we wake up, certain things jump the priority list just because of this, the breaking news each and every day. So we'll try to stay on top of it. And then in the meantime, have a little fun, get in with some trivia, some flash sales and all that good stuff in addition to the news.
Okay. Stephen Leibowitz says, if you were redrafting based on January on, you wouldn't take White anywhere near Zion. Obviously.
You
would draft. Yes, but I'm saying if you're comparing their overall skill, you can't take January and on because we know that Zion's pedigree is so much better than Kobe White. Yeah. But if you're talking about where you're actually drafting them in the draft, yeah, you're right. It'd probably be within 4 of each other. Okay, let's end it with this. And thanks again for that super chat, man. End it with this. And someone said it looks like Laffy and Josh need a break from each other. No, this is we wouldn't have it any other way.
We could do that for an hour and a half if these just in a Zoom call.
Right. Okay, Josh.
Yes.
Try and abstain from just doing it to argue with me and tell me where you would draft Kobe White after what you saw in this draft. We take Zion number 1.
Ja Morant is absolutely still 2. I don't think that there's a way to go any other direction there, assuming you agree.
Agree. 100%. Yeah. Like, you can't be taking RJ Barrett anywhere near the top after what we saw. At least not top 5.
Sorry, I'm just looking through the list right now just to make sure I don't miss anybody. You're gonna freak out when I say this out loud.
Brandon Clark.
Oh, I mean, he should have.
I know you're a Clark guy.
I mean, he should have went significantly higher than 21. I don't think that's...
All right, go ahead.
I think PJ Washington moves up a lot. Shot 37% from 3 for a garbage Hornets team, never getting like a legitimate look as a big man. I think that's really valuable moving forward. I think that those two guys would be really close for me. But I'm thinking White's probably in that 3-4 range. Like, I'm taking him before Culver. I'm taking him before Garland. I'm taking him before Hunter. I'm not trying to like, I'd have to dig into it further, but I think like PJ Washington takes a jump a lot higher. Kobe White moves up for sure. I move those guys slightly that are ahead of White right now down. So I don't mean to diminish him, but like White would be the guy where I'd be like, ooh, I could see going one way or the other. PJ Washington. Okay,
but you're saying you would take Kobe White in the top 5.
He's going earlier than he did for sure. No doubt about it. Yeah. No doubt about it.
Ben, where would you take Kobe White?
Yeah, and certainly in the top 5. I'll just say this though, and it's because there's just not that many reasonable guys to choose from. So
I know.
Yeah. It's not exactly a glowing. He put up efficient enough numbers, and he was good in spots that there's just not that many other guys that you could reasonably say.
I agree with that.
Someone like Romeo Langford, I think is still, not that I'm obviously putting him in this conversation, but people we don't know about from this draft. I think it remains to be seen, but from what we know, him, Clark, those are the top of guys, obviously behind Zion and Ja, that I think there's really nobody else. It's a small list, honestly.
And mind you, I'm not making a case for Kobe White to be on an actual all-NBA team or an all-star, just that I think he should be on the first all-rookie team. That's all. And I believe he should supplant Tyler Hero. Anyway, that was fun. Ben, tomorrow, little poker conversation. Any teasers for the viewers? I know we got a lot to break down.
No, I mean, I think we'll get into Luffy, you and me, we had a real good poker session. We talked about a lot of things. We want to bring that to the stream. We want you guys, if there are questions in the poker world that you have some interest in, that you maybe think, I like playing, but this is a part of my game that I'd really love some strategy talk on, let us know. Hop in chat tomorrow and we'll get to it. We'll get to some trivia tomorrow too, no doubt about it. And obviously we got League of Legends, MMA, PGA, all that rapidly developing. I'm going to actually write up a horse racing article this week. We're going to test the waters in that. That'll be out in a couple of days, chat. So if you're going to bet the ponies, stop on by to the Awesemo.com homepage and you'll see my article posted in a few.
Josh, close us out.
Well, if you guys want to hear Laffy be wrong a lot, we are here Monday through Friday.
This is not the place to come.
9:30 a.m. Eastern time. You could watch me just eviscerate him with facts over and over again. If that is interesting, you should definitely be here and hit the thumbs up button.
Yeah. And that is what we call clickbait, because none of that actually happens on the show. We'll see you back here tomorrow on the morning show. Remember, tonight, doubleheader, Lakers, Blazers, Nets, Raptors, going to be a good one. Fill out your daily challenges. Get your FanDuel lineups in. We'll see you 7 p.m. Eastern time, sharp. Peace.